Hi partakers, welcome to this week's episode of the Your Take Show. My name is Amanda. For those who are new here, thank you so much for being a part of us. You will not regret being here. Now, we're going to start with our food throne, but let me tell you a bit about this show. On this show, we actually discuss nutrition challenges and anything to do with food and how we can make our lives better using food to improve our health. So if you're new here, that's what you should expect, and also for you to participate, that's what you should be actually sending us feedback on. So for our food throne today, we have oranges. Now in our oranges, we have nutrients like vitamin C, which is quite important for boosting our immunity systems, but also for those that really care about their skin and their hair quality, you need to have vitamin C in your body system. So this orange is one way to get you having vitamin C up in your system. We also have a lot of fiber that comes from our oranges. So if you're the type that suffers bloating, if you're the type that has a high cholesterol, if you're the type that is looking to reduce your weight, please have lots of oranges as well, because they will work to deal with unnecessary fat and also detox your gut or clean your stomach. What else do we get from vitamin C? One very important one very important nutrient is something called thiamine. It's part of the vitamin Bs that you see all around the place being talked about. So if you have this vitamin coming from these oranges, you'll be able to better utilize foods that give us energy. So you wouldn't want to be eating energy-giving foods in your body system and you're really just wasting your time because you don't have an assistant nutrient, which is that thiamine we have talked about, to actually help you use this energy coming from these energy-giving foods. So while you're having your energy-giving foods, remember to also have lots of foods that have thiamine, and oranges are one of those. Maybe a few fun facts about our lovely oranges is they are really resistant to disease as compared to so many other foods, and they actually are more killed by lightning than they are killed by disease. Can you imagine that? So these are some things that you can plant in your backyard, because they are stronger as opposed to other foods when it comes to fighting off disease as they grow. And also orange juice also is actually the most popular juice that we have in the world today. That means every country knows orange juice. Almost everyone knows orange juice and has tasted it. So yes, please involve oranges as part of your health enhancers. You definitely need them. I definitely need them, and the ones to come after us need them as well. So coming in from Warren Ponce is our first question, and he says, I have pimples now for 6 years, but is it best to use salmon and G-nuts? We have answered that down on the Facebook page, but you can also note that your health can always improve for the better. Now, if we're saying improve for the better, it means whatever state of health you are in right now, it can always get better if you put in the effort. Even for those that have terminal illnesses, you actually can improve your state of health by working on the signs and symptoms. You can actually relieve those signs and symptoms through the food that you eat or through the workouts that you do. So health can definitely improve no matter the state, and that's why you need to always give health enhancers a chance. You always need to give attention to your health and wellness as well. So even for you, Warren, over time, I know the pimples have been there for such a long time, which is 6 years, but your health can always improve, your skin can always improve. Keep working towards it. Let's go into our second question, coming in from Ritasha, the first lady. She was asking, is it possible to gain weight after having used slimming tea? Yes, it's very possible. When it comes to food and meal plans for particular goals, you need to have the right meal plans, but also the timing of your foods is really important, especially for weight gain. So if you're looking to gain weight, try and eat more as you head on into the night, where you're going to just rest and sleep, because that's where the weight gain will actually come from. So Your meal planning has to be really particular and really good, and also your timing of meals has to be really awesome, not just for weight gain but for any other health goals that we might have. Try and ensure to have having your meals the right way, in the right preparation, just researching and making sure you're doing it in the right format. Okay, so our third question is coming in from Kathy Okino. Kathy Okino is asking, how can I lose weight while at home? Because exercise is not a constant. I don't like doing it when I'm home. The food we normally have is matoke, posho, and beans. So, my dear Kathy, you're not alone. So many people are struggling with exercise. Even for those that are good at exercise right now, they once were terrible at it. So for you who is also working hard to improve your exercise, sustenance, you need to also, since you don't like, the gym kind of workouts at home, you need to also make sure you're extremely active at home if you're going to get anything out of it to help you with weight loss. So while you're at home, you can still have a list, like be extremely active. Make sure you're moving all the time. Just keep moving all the time. And that means have a list of activities that you have planned out for your day. So every morning, have a long list of activities planned out for your day. So you have goals to achieve, and you're doing this and that until day ends. So here's the thing. Don't sit, don't just be in one place, don't just be the TV type, don't just be glued to something for a long time. If it's a picture that needs to be hammered into the wall, please do that yourself. You don't need to call a carpenter to do that for you. If it is weeding your flower pots, you could help the housemaid do that as well. So keep yourself active. House chores are one. If you really are putting in energy into your house chores, that's one of the ways that you can actually lose weight, as well as you focus, of course, on right eating. Okay, so our fourth question is coming in from Catch Sam. And what is Catch Sam saying? Catch Sam is saying orange, mango, pineapple teas, also considered green teas, or they're just flavored teas. Okay, so when it comes to all these teas, definitely all these teas are health teas, but we have different categories. And now the ones you have mentioned, mango, pineapple, and orange, are fruits. So the tea they'll give you is a fruit tea. A fruit is what we get from, the plant being fertilized, and that whatever comes out of that and is able to mature and ripen, that is what we actually consider fruit. So if you are using those, if you're using the fruit, it will give you a fruit tea. But if you're using any other part of the plant except the fruit and the leaves, say you're using the roots, or you are using the bark or the stem, then we're going to say that you have herbal tea. So any other part of the plant aside the fruit and the leaves, that's a herbal tea. Then we also have, when you are using leaves, that's when we'll consider you actually having a green tea. So there are three categories of teas, health teas, if we can say so. And definitely all of them are things that you should actually incorporate into your menus and into your diets, because all of them are very healthy and have a lot to offer when it comes to improving and enhancing our health. So the ones you've mentioned are actually fruit teas. Let's go into our last question. Now, our last question comes in from Barbara Asimwe. Barbara Asimwe is asking, what foods should one eat during COVID time to boost immunity? Yes, I'm very happy that during this COVID time, we actually need to be boosting our immunity. But what are those things that actually enable us to boost our immunities? Number one is going to be vitamin C. Vitamin C is going to help you to actually it will act as an antioxidant, help you to ward off cell damage that may come in from whatever infections that may, weaken your body system. So you need to have vitamin C. Remember our oranges that we talked about? Yes, you need to run to lots of fruits and also lots of green leafy vegetables. Then we also need to have a lot more of iron-based foods. Why are we having iron-based foods? Because they help to make sure we have blood that is transporting the oxygen around our body systems. and also some of these nutrients, so that you are actually able to have nutrients to use to fight off these diseases we're talking about. What else do we need? You also will need a lot of antioxidant foods and anti-inflammatory foods, because this is what helps to fight off any inflammation, or even fight off any other infections that may be cropping up. That's where our anti-inflammatory foods come in, and some of these include our turmeric, our ginger, our garlics. You know, so many of these which are very common foods all around us. Protein will also be a very important one for you to add, especially during this time, because proteins act as carriers for so many of these other nutrients that we are talking about. So if you don't have a carrier for the nutrients, it means your body won't benefit from them. So include good quality protein into your diet as well. That includes fish, that includes lean meat, that includes beans and pulses and peas, you know, mushrooms. Please use a lot of our proteins as well. Okay, so, and last but not least, definitely is hydrating. If you don't have water, then you're wasting your time, because your body is made of water. Your body transports nutrients via that water. So you need to have enough water and keep yourself hydrated. Drink enough water. That ends our discussion room. But we are still continuing with the show, worry not. And now we're heading on into the take of the week. The take of the week this week comes in from someone called Marie Tukahirwa. And she was responding to a picture on the Facebook page where there was an apple placed right in front of a mirror. And the image you could see in front of the mirror was of a very, very, you know, clean, untouched, nice apple, sparkling as well. But when you looked at the other side of the apple, from the other side, which is not the mirror reflection, you could see that the apple had been bitten, had been damaged, you know, it had been eaten into. And so that actually shows us that, you know, what we see most times may not actually be what is reflected on the inside of us. Anyway, this is what Marie Tukahirwa had to say. She says, "That is when all you do is complain and blame others for your shortcomings, but in reality, you are the problem, and you have done nothing to resolve them." So most of us, okay, not most of us, but sometimes we tend to want to put or apportion blame onto other things rather than ourselves. We want to be able to feel consoled that the problem is because of another person or another thing except ourselves. And yet the actual reality is, as much as you may blame others, you may not be helping the situation by placing blame here and there. You actually need to just take on the responsibility for yourself, take on the responsibility for your health, take on the responsibility for your wellness. Do whatever you can. Even small progress is great progress. So aside us, or instead, as opposed to us actually blaming others and things, how about we look deep into ourselves and start working on ourselves day by day? Okay, so that was the last bit of our show. Actually, that wasn't the last bit of our show. The last bit of our show is the wellness quote. The wellness quote is going to be chosen by fate today, randomly. And this is what our wellness quote of today says. "People are fed by the food industry, which pays no attention to health, and treated by the health industry, which pays no attention to food." So this is where we, you know, are coming in to urge everyone to take up their health as something, as a serious concern for each one of us, because, you know, the food industry has actually advanced more of processed foods, has advanced more of foods that are chemically, you know, are made, and so we are having less of natural foods in our bodies because of what the food industry has to offer. That doesn't mean we cannot make an effort to have natural foods in our body systems. It's upon you to actually source out these food suppliers. It's upon you to actually grow some of these foods. And they also go ahead to say in this wellness quote that we are also being treated by a health industry which pays no attention to food. So please, whenever you go and even have doctor's visits, please remember to ask them about alternative medicine options that you can use, because on top of the medicine they're offering you, because it's not all about medicine. You actually, they say the doctor of the future will actually focus on things that don't require the drug, but things that are in natural processes. So endeavor to ask for, it's your right to have information from your doctor, so endeavor to ask for things that relate to natural foods, things that relate to natural processes that can actually help you sustain a healthy life, as opposed to dependency on drugs. Yeah, so let's not depend on drugs, let's focus more on the natural side of the world. That was it for this week. Thank you for being here. I have loved being a part of your screen time this very week. Until next week, when we actually get to discuss more on the food world and, you know, just talk about things that will enhance our health in terms of food. Have a lovely week. Bye-bye.